everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Nomhle and welcome to our financial markets literacy channel. Today we're going to be discussing trading. How do you get started if you want to trade? I am intentionally starting with trading because it seems to be the most popular one in the financial market space. So if you would like to trade and you have never traded before, there is an option for you to learn to trade, and there is an option for you to follow someone else's trades. There's a plethora of ways that you can get started. But I want to start off by saying it's always good to educate yourself in the topic at hand before you can even get started. Okay, so do your research. By research, I mean don't rely on a third party alone, but it's always nice to make a comparison to see what you're getting from A. Is it the same with B, and is it the same with C? They will always be different, but you need to find that common link between the three of them, and then try and not run with that, but try and see exactly what it is that they have in common and what is the message, or what are they trying to send forward to you, so that you are well aware. And also just bear in mind that taking your money and giving it to someone else that is not a financial services provider with no license or whatsoever is not the wisest thing to do. It's very, very risky, and in fact, it's frowned upon because if that person has no knowledge of what they're doing and they lose all your capital in the financial markets, you have no recourse, so try and avoid those things. But besides what to try and avoid, let's look at how you can get started. Demo. I always say to clients is that, when you first start to learn how to drive, okay, even those that just have a learners, and even those that are just dreaming of getting a license, who've never been behind the steering, you need to start somewhere, and that is by getting your learners, So essentially speaking is that you get an K50, is that a K53, I think? K50 something. You get your book, okay, where you learn the rules of the road, where you understand that green means go, amber means slow down, and then red means stop. Okay, so all the rules as to how do you recognize a stop sign, how do you recognize a yield sign, and all of that jazz. That is way before you get behind the steering. You first learn the rules of the road and how the rules of the road work and what happens when you break the rules of the road as well. Once you have passed that phase, and then you get, if you are fortunate enough, you get an instructor that's going to teach you on how to on how to drive. Once that instructor teaches you on how to drive, usually they first start off by how do you hold the steering, to see how your control of the steering is before you can start changing gears if you are on a manual, or before you start accelerating on the highway. Then probably just put the handbrake down and allow you to control the steering first. Too much of the analogies, same goes with trading, or rather investing. Trading in this instance is that you would start off on a demo account. Each and every single broker that is regulated has a demo account. Now, before you can even go and download a demo account, check if the broker is regulated first. There is an FSP number that is given to each and every single regulated broker out there. So you can go to the FSCA's website and check with that FSP number if it does in fact appear on the FSCA's website. If it does appear on the FSCA's website, it will even tell you under which name it is listed. Now, once you can see that your broker is licensed and regulated and legal and not an overnight scam. And then you get your confidence to say, okay, now, when you download your demo account, this is now when you're learning everything that you've learned from offline. There are institutions that teach you on how to trade. There's also free what you call sources or services that you can use that are available for you for free. However, there's also, or not however, in fact, brokers would give you that free education. So majority of the time, especially with licensed and regulated brokers, there is an educations portal on their website. Call your broker where you have signed up for a demo and ask them for their educational material. They have it for free. They've done all the research. They've done all the trainings. They have webinars that they host. They have seminars that they host. And most of them even have account managers that can introduce you. If you don't have an account manager with your broker, check if your broker has a live chat. Go onto the live chat and request that someone gives you a call so that they can explain this to you and introduce you to this thing. And also, there's reading material that a broker can give you. So it's either you can get it in a format of a video, or you can get it in a reading format, or you can get both. All right? And all of these resources, they are available for free from your broker, so you don't have to pay anyone, especially if you are willing and keen in learning on your own. And there's also a very, very, very popular website, which I'm not going to mention on this platform, but if you are interested, I would be more than happy to share that with you. It has, for example, the educational material. It specializes just in education. The terminologies, some of the terminologies that I'm also going to be explaining here, I use that as a source, to go and double check if my facts are still correct, just not on Investopedia alone. So it teaches you from beginner, intermediate, right up until advanced on what trading is. It explains to you all the different terminologies that are used. How do you even apply those terms in a real financial markets situation, or in fact, when would you apply those particular terminologies? It even does calculations for you if you're someone who's very technical. There's different types of trading, obviously, that you would be getting, or there's different types of traders that you'll come across. So it covers all of that information. So education is very important. So that's the first thing that you have to do for yourself. Now, what happens if you are a person who says, you know what, Nomhle, I hear you, girl. I'm keen to learn and introduce myself in what trading is about, but I don't have the time, I don't have time to sit and analyze a bar chart or a line chart using technical indicators and fundamental indicators and sentiment indicators and all sorts of different indicators, and then come to a decision to place a trade. All I want to do is just partake in the financial markets. There is that option, for such individuals who say that, you know what, I get it. I'm interested, I have the financial capacity to do so, but now how do I get involved? How do I get started as someone who does not necessarily have the time to make the analysis? For example, a surgeon. If you're a surgeon and you have to, be operating on people throughout the entire day, I don't expect you to be looking at the MACD whilst you're stitching someone else and then click on buy, There are other options for you to do it if, however, you don't want to partake in the markets like that. You can follow, there's different ways that you can do it. You can either invest in a very good robot. So when you are investing in a robot, one thing that you need to take into consideration is that you will need to have a VPS if on some platforms it doesn't automatically place the trades on your behalf. So it can get a bit pricey if you don't have the financial means not only to buy the robot and the VPS as well. Maybe then look at other options, because when you're buying a robot essentially says that It scans the market on your behalf and then it places the trade on your behalf, only on conditions that you have the platform open. And this happens a lot to, let's say, certain platforms, which I'm not going to make mention of, but there are certain platforms, which is majority of the platforms, which would need you to have the platform open in order for the robot to execute those trades on your behalf. So when you're buying a robot, you might need to buy a VPS as well. That's the first option that is available. Second option is social trading or copy trading. So social trading or copy trading is essentially copying someone else's trades. So when that person places a trade, automatically that trade is placed on your trading account as well. And then in this instance, you don't need to have a robot, because all of those trades are basically with or on your broker's servers. There are options whereby you can view how the strategy has been performing, right? In majority of the cases, you can view how the strategy has been performing, look at past performances and look at how aggressive it is, see if it's something that is fitting for you. Does it fit your risk appetite or not? What might be fitting for my risk appetite is not necessarily what might be fitting for yours. Maybe I am a very conservative trader and I would like to take the minimal risk as possibly I can, and then maybe the next person says, you know what, I like aggression and I'm an aggressive trader, so I would like a strategy that is rather more aggressive. So then on copy trading, you get to look at that as well and see, and you can also sort of tailor make your risk and say that if maybe this trader is taking risk of X, I would like to take risk of Y instead of matching it to the T. So you have full control on that. You can even close the trades out by yourself. I know that majority of the copy trading or copy trader platforms allow you or give you that freedom to do that. So that's also another option that is available for you. And then another third option, which is called a PAM or a MAM account. Not so popular if maybe you are sitting with less than $10,000. I know that in most instances, this requires a very large capital in order for you to start trading. So it's also sort of like copy trading. But it's also a bit of robotic. It could be that the person is using an algorithm or the person is manually trading themselves. And obviously with the MAM and PAM accounts, that is allowing someone else again to execute those trades on your behalf so that you don't go in there and place those trades. There's normally regulation and requirements in order for one to have a MAM or a PAM account in terms of licensing and so forth, depending in which country they reside in. So there are those options that are available to you. If you do come back and say that, you know what, this is a bit of mouthful or a handful for me, however, I am still interested, but instead of me having to place the trades myself, I would like to give the responsibility to the next person. So yes, that is available for you. And if you'd like to know how you can get involved in that, send me an email, comment here, I'll get in touch with you and we'll see how we can take it from there onwards. Bye.